This is a true story. In October 1960, Mr. and Mrs. Campbell left their quiet farmhouse in Ireland and moved to the town of Sauchie, Scotland, with their 11-year-old daughter, Virginia. Virginia, the youngest of their children, had grown up feeling lonely. Her older siblings had moved away to start their own families, and with her parents nearing 60, Virginia's childhood had been marked by isolation. The move to Scotland added to her distress. Virginia's father stayed behind in Ireland to sell their farmhouse, leaving her and her mother to live with relatives, her aunt and uncle, Thomas and Isabel, in their modest home. Virginia had to share a bed with her younger cousin, Margaret. Making things worse, her mother found work in another town, too far to commute daily, meaning Virginia was left in Sauchie without her parents. Adding to her sadness, she had to leave behind her best friend, Annie, and her beloved dog, Toby. On the night of November 22nd, something strange happened. Just after Virginia and Margaret went to bed, Thomas and Isabel heard a piercing scream from the girls' room. Rushing upstairs, the girls claimed they had heard strange noises. Assuming it was just their imagination, the adults sent them back to bed. Moments later, the girls bolted downstairs again, this time followed by a strange thumping sound, like a ball bouncing down the stairs. Believing the girls were playing a prank, Thomas and Isabel ordered them back to bed. But as they checked in on the girls a short while later, they too heard a persistent knocking sound, this time from behind the headboard. Concerned, they moved the girls to another room, yet the knocking followed, continuing behind the new headboard. The sounds only stopped when Virginia finally drifted to sleep. Over the following days, the disturbances intensified. Scratching sounds echoed through the house. Household items vanished, only to reappear weeks later. A linen basket lid opened on its own, ornaments shifted without explanation, and furniture moved without anyone near it. A sewing machine turned itself on, and even a vase and an apple were seen sliding across the table on their own. One night, Thomas and Isabel watched in disbelief as their sideboard shifted several inches away from the wall, only to be pushed back by an unseen force. Fearing they were dealing with something unnatural, they reached out to Reverend Lund, a local minister. When he visited the home, the strange knocking sounds returned, originating from inside the headboard whenever Margaret shared Virginia's bed. The noises stopped only when Margaret moved to another room, allowing Virginia to sleep peacefully. What made this chilling case even stranger was that the poltergeist seemed to follow Virginia. On Friday, November 25th, Virginia returned to school after missing 3 days. As she sat at her desk, her teacher, Miss Stewart, saw her struggling with the desk lid. When Miss Stewart asked her to stop, the lid suddenly flew open and slammed down 3 times. Classmates screamed in terror, especially when one of the desks began levitating several inches off the floor. Just days later, on November 28th, Miss Stewart witnessed another unsettling event. As Virginia approached the teacher's desk, a blackboard pointer started moving across the desk on its own, before falling to the floor. The desk itself vibrated, then rotated in a slow circle, all while Virginia stood several feet away, crying and insisting she wasn't responsible. Virginia's distress continued to worsen, and Dr. Nesbitt from the Tillicoultry medical practice prescribed sedatives to calm her. Despite this, the unexplained events persisted. Both Dr. Nesbitt and Reverend Lund witnessed Virginia's pillow ripple and spin on her bed. When Virginia was moved to a different home, Dr. William Logan and his wife visited, only to witness the same unnerving knocking sounds and shifting furniture. Determined to find answers, Dr. Logan and Dr. Nesbitt set up a cine camera, recording knocks and moving objects between 9 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. On December 2nd, the story hit the press. The Aloha Journal reported that Virginia's aunt had been pushed off her bed by an unseen force, while blankets lifted and dropped as though manipulated by invisible hands. Virginia moaned in apparent pain throughout the incidents. Spiritualist James Henderson suggested that Virginia might have psychic abilities, recommending a trusted medium be brought in to help. However, before that could happen, Reverend Lund and 3 other clergymen arrived to offer prayers for the family's peace. By March, the disturbances stopped. With Virginia happier and feeling more secure, the poltergeist activity vanished. Witnessed by family members, medical professionals, teachers, and clergy, the bizarre events in Sauchie remain one of Scotland's most puzzling supernatural cases. That brings us to the end of our story. Please don't forget to like, share, leave a comment, and follow us for more. Thank you. See you next time, and bye for now.